Hello everyone, and thank you for inviting us to this conference. This is the first global conference that we are taking part in, and we are very excited for this. We are Orama Interactive, an independent game and software developer team of 4. We have a passion for creating meaningful video games and libre software that can affect the player and make the world a better place. In this talk, we will discuss a bit about our projects, which include various games and the pixel art editor. We will go into detail about who we are, why we are doing what we do, the stories, the future plan of our projects, and how they are currently studying. Specifically, we will talk about 4 of our games: Universe, a 2D puzzle platformer; Where Hope Lies, a VR puzzle game; Repairing, a pixel art platformer game; and Techno Tribal, a game mixing the quiz and puzzle genres. We will also take a closer look on Pixelorama, our currently in development free and open source pixel art sprite editor.
Hello, I am Manolis, more commonly known as Overloaded, and I am the lead and only programmer of our team, Orama Interactive. I always enjoyed video games, which eventually led me to want to create my own. Orama is a way for me to express myself and to share my creativity and dreams with the rest of the world.
Hi, my name is John. I go by the nickname Erevoid, and I am the visual art director of our team. I enjoy art in many of its forms, and I have a wide range of hobbies regarding it. That's why I love game development, because it combines so many art forms at once in order to convey a story well enough, and you always have something to learn and improve on.
Hey everyone, I'm Orion, commonly known as Odinirion, and I joined Orama Interactive because I realized that the people there had a lot of dreams and had taken their career as game developers very seriously, which to me is really inspiring and beautiful. Also, my best friend joined them first, and that was an extra reason for me to join because I was really shy and anxious back then. My part in Orama is making concept arts since I have no idea how to program.
Hi, my name's Sol, and you usually find me going by the nickname Solicidal. I've been studying art for several years and always aspired to learn as much as I can regarding it. I joined Orama 2 years ago, and I'm happy to be a member of the development team.
Orama Interactive is an independent game and software development team. John, our art director, and I started our team back in 2012 when we were still going to school and we created some small games. But even though we started small, we always dreamed big. This also explains our name, as Orama in Greek means vision, as in our vision for a better future. And yes, it is pronounced Orama in Greek. We also pronounce our sprite editor Pixelorama since it's derived from the same word, but you can pronounce it however you want. Over the years, we've learned a lot about games, software, art, and eventually met more people that joined our team, which now consists of 4 members.
We are mostly known for our free and open source pixel art tool called Pixelorama, but we have also developed some games, 4 of which we will talk about today. It's worth noting that most of the projects we will be talking about are powered by the free and open source game engine Godot, and for the artistic parts of them, programs such as GIMP, Blender, Pixelorama, and Krita were used. All of those are free and open source programs for the sole reason that we want to prove that you don't need expensive subscriptions or a huge budget to create something substantial. All you need is a computer and lots of love and inspiration for what you create.
We started working on Pixelorama in the summer of 2019. Back then, we were working on a pixel art game, and we realized we needed a free but powerful sprite editor. It all began when I suggested that we could make our own sprite editor, although back then I was half joking. That did not stop me from experimenting though, and I realized that it is indeed possible to create a sprite editor with Godot. This was actually our second attempt at creating non-game software with Godot. The first was a story planner, which is currently a project in hiatus, but we plan on resuming it at some point in the future. When we first shared Pixelorama with the Godot community, we mostly did it to show that such a thing is indeed possible with the Godot engine. We did not expect, however, such positive feedback from the community. People were interested in actually using it, which surprised us. At that point, we had already started loving this project, and, with the help of the community, either in the form of contributions or donations, or just by showing their love and providing feedback. We managed to make great progress in just 1 year and some months. And we still have a long way to go, so we are actively developing it. There is no doubt that contributors played and will continue to play a huge role in Pixelorama's development. This just wouldn't be possible if Pixelorama was not open source. Now, Pixelorama's UI designer, John, will draw something in Pixelorama while showing you how it works.
I welcome you all to the Pixelorama environment. This is the first thing users see when they open the software. Let's begin with the splash screen, which has a beautiful artwork made by Wisdream, one of the 3 winners of the Pixelorama splash screen art competition. The competition takes place on our Discord server right before a major update is released, so if you want to participate you can join our server. There are some additional options below the artwork, so let's just make a new canvas to get us going. Alright, I'm thinking of painting a nice pixel art landscape. Let's make the width 3x64, so 192, and the height 2x64, which is 128. Yeah, I quite like this aspect ratio. Let's have a quick look on our user interface. This mini canvas on the top right is our canvas preview. On the left we have our tools. You may notice that when I click on them, they turn half blue. That is because I'm left clicking, assigning the tools to the left click, and when I'm right clicking, the orange tool is assigned to our right click. It's especially useful if you get the hang of it. What I really like doing is assigning the color picker tool on the right, so that I can easily select colors from my left tools. Now let's open our preferences under Edit Preferences and let's see what we've got. As you can see, there are a lot of customizability options that you can edit to your liking, but make sure to enable auto-saving so that in case something happens to your computer or to Pixelorama, you won't lose all of your progress. There are a lot of different themes to choose from as well, and I'm totally not focusing on that because I made them. Under the canvas are the layer options on the left side. You can also expand the user interface to see more layers at once. Next to them on the right are the frame options. Layers and frames are merged to help the animators with a cell-based workflow. We'll see the rest of the interface as we go. For now, let's track down a guide to help us with our landscape. Guides are just there to help us with our composition, and they are not actually rendered in the final image. This will be our horizon line. Now, do I want it in the middle? Probably not, let's pull it down a bit. Okay, and now with my pencil tool, I'll press Shift and drag a line across the guide. Under View, you can also play with which parts of the utilities you want to be visible. I will uncheck the guides and I will check them again if I need them. Let's fill this part with our bucket and it will serve as our ground. Oh, actually, I will add a vertical guide in the middle. I am thinking of making a road leading to a futuristic town. For those who know how perspective works, I will use one-point perspective. The town can be circular, so let's add another layer to add a circle representing it. I'm also moving the ground layer on the foreground. I'll grab my circle brush and change its size to make a big circle. maybe 50 pixels. Now let's do 60, it's going to be a big town. I'm making it white to tell it apart from the ground. We won't worry about the colors now, this is our sketch. We will change it later on. Let's put a red point where our guides meet. It will be where we'll be drawing perspective lines from. Again, I'm pressing Shift to make a line, and also Ctrl to make it have specific pixel art friendly angles. I'm thinking of making a road and some power lines following it. Now that I'm satisfied with my sketch, I will merge it down to one layer to use as a reference and name it sketch. Actually, let's add 2 more lines. Okay, now let's start putting some basic colors. This will be our road. I'm thinking, maybe a green for our ground? Actually, there's a faster way to fill the whole black area at once. At our tool options, if we select same color pixels, it saves us a lot of time. Also keep in mind that this is still our sketch layer, the colors are not final. Now, let's lower the opacity and start working on our actual landscape. We will be using a specific palette. There are some default ones, but I went ahead and imported one that I thought it would fit nicely. I like setting my piece's mood by starting from the sky. So I go under Image, Gradient, and I make a basic black and white gradient. That represents my sky. Let's tweak it a bit. There are a lot of options here, but I'm fine for now by just changing the number of steps. Maybe 7? Yeah, that's better. Now, the gradient went to the layer we created for it, but since it's the ground, let's put it behind everything. Let's name our layer to background. Look how it's transformed now that I took some color from our palette. I quite like the looks of it. We won't worry about the leftover white parts since the ground will be in front of them. I also quite enjoy breaking the rules of the gradient and adding more lines like so. I feel like it's more appealing this way. I will now go ahead and do it for the rest of the sky. And this is how it looks. Now, let's not forget to save our work, since we've done something substantial and we don't want to lose it. The files are saved with a PXO format, which is unique for Pixelorama. Time to make our road using the colors from the palette. Let's add the road layer and do just that. As you can see, I have not thought ahead the exact colors I want to use. I'm just playing with what I have, and it's very possible I will change it later on. You're also seeing me putting the sketch layer on the foreground and lowering its opacity to use it as a reference and then hiding it. I actually want the road to be higher up, but that's no problem. Mistakes like that can easily be altered using the rectangle selection tool. I'm just pressing Shift to pull it up. I'll also delete its upper part. Okay, now that the road is ready, we can work on a new layer for the details on the ground. I will draw some power lines going across the road. There we go. I will add some more and be back in a second. And this is the progress so far. I added some more details and some lines on the road. I also moved the sketch a bit upwards to align with how we moved the road, along with the details. I'm actually pretty happy with its direction so far, so let's move to the main city. I will add a circle like our sketch. Maybe a bit lower though. And now that I think about it, this could be a setting sun with a city in front of it. The city has to be a similar tone to the sun, but a bit darker. So let's go ahead and rename our layer and add another for the city. Using our basic pixel brush, I'm creating a central skyscraper. And after I'm done, I'm adding some more buildings. The central skyscraper seems a bit underwhelming now, so I'm going to raise it a bit. And then I'm going to finish off the buildings. I used the circle brush for some parts of it as well. What I'm thinking now is that I could use another layer of the town, one closer to us. I'll use the next darker color in our palette and add some more buildings. Yes, that looks much more polished. I'm a fan of it. Now I'm thinking that it's time to add some cables to our electric posts. I could just go ahead and add some freehand lines, but that is bound to create some imperfections in pixel art. So instead, I'm going to check Pixel Perfect on our tool options to make the lines always be 1 pixel wide. Just like that. Let's fast forward the process. Now it's a good time to stop and look on how to improve our landscape. While the ground colors look nice, now with the context of the town, they're a bit weird. So I will try to change them for something else from the palette. I will go for a more desert vibe, so green is not that fitting for my case. Now it's starting to look a bit better, but it's still empty. Let's add some cacti. This is a darker color, so I think it fits well for the foreground. And again, all I'm doing is using the basic brushes to make it shape. We can now add some thorns to our lovely cactus. But instead of drawing them one by one, I'm going to select one and Ctrl-C the thorn. Go to my brushes and select project and boom, our thorn is now a custom new brush, and I can fill my cactus with thorns faster. I add another custom brush with the thorns facing the other way and manually draw the rest. At this point we're close to completion. I'm experimenting a bit more with the colors, and then all that's really left is some more details on the ground. And yes, now I really feel like the colors complement each other and we can actually keep them. I spent some more time polishing our landscape and this is the final piece. I added some stars as well. I really like including space in what I make, one way or the other. And this was just a small showcase of what Pixelorama and a little bit of imagination are currently able to achieve. Pixelorama's future is very bright. It's still about a year old and it includes a lot of useful features. And not just for casual artists like me. We are planning to add features to appeal to every pixel artist, be that an animator, a game developer, a beginner in pixel art, or well, you. I've only scratched the surface, but I'm sure if you keep up with its development, you will be amazed by what is yet to come. Back to our landscape now. We can export it as a PNG, and there are other options there too, like sprite sheet or animation. If you want to share your art, be sure to resize it, because pixel art is really tiny when exported on its native resolution. And now let's save it one last time. I hope you enjoyed the process.
This is the Orama Interactive website we've put together to organize our projects. And this is our itch.io page. You can also find our team on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. As of today, we've uploaded 4 games: Technotribal, Repairing, Where Hope Lies and Universe.
Universe was a game we created while still in high school, while being examined and giving tests that would shape our future based on the results. Or so we were told, at least. It talks about changing ourselves from within and thinking ahead. As it stands, it has multiple mechanics, including changing dimensions and freezing time, and a narrator who gives you hints through riddles on how to use said mechanics. It's a mobile game and we are currently working on a massive remake to make it infinitely more appealing.
On to our next game, Where Hope Lies, is a short virtual reality game based on the myth of the Pandora's Box. It's a puzzle game that we put together in a small amount of time as part of an exercise for the university I attended back in 2018. Even though it's based on Pandora's myth, we interpret it differently and find the opportunity to talk about humanity in general, its achievements and its flaws. In the end, you are given the opportunity to choose your own virtues and shape the future of humanity itself based on the values you think are most important.
I can hear the sirens. Is this really the end? I'm sorry, buddy.
Repairing is our global Game Jam 2020 entry, developed in just 48 hours. We especially like this game because we met with fellow developer contestants that were making their own games before the pandemic even began, in a common building that each one of us worked on their own game as teams. The game is about a robot waking up in a dystopian world, destroyed by war and trying to figure out what has happened to it. Our plan is to expand this idea, create a big universe based on that jam entry, with lots of unique characters and personalities, and develop a fully fledged experience for the future players.
Techno Tribal has to be our most polished game. Developed in a span of a month for the Athens Digital Arts Festival, it's a combination of two game genres, puzzle and quiz. The game is connected to the Repairing universe and acts pretty much as a prequel to it. The player's task is to train an artificial intelligence by giving it accurate information inputs. The game itself encourages research on real-life matters, and there are two possible endings based on the amount of correct answers. Each ending has its own unique story, so make sure to unlock both. Also, keep in mind to use the optimal amount of moves for each level to get new high scores.
All of our current games are available on our itch.io page except Universe, which is available on the Google Play Store, and they are all free to play. If you wish to help us with our game development journey, consider becoming a patron and enjoy the privileges of being one.
If you wanna be involved with the Orama Interactive community, you can also join our Discord server. This was our little project showcase. We are very excited about our future ideas as well, since we have learned a lot in our development journey so far, and we cannot wait to put what we have learned to use. We hope you like our ideas and projects, and you will stay in tune with us as we're trying to fulfill our Orama, our dream. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, so it is time for questions. Does anyone have questions? Okay, so is there any more games on the way?
We're currently working on remaking Universe, and after that we are thinking of continuing development or repairing. Apart from that, when we finish with these projects, we'll see. Actually, we're not sure yet. We'll keep you up to date. We'll post on our social media and our Discord community with our development.
Great, thank you. Do we have more questions? Okay, we have another one. Why was Godot chosen as the basis for building Pixelorama?
So we have already made some experiments on working on non-game software with the Godot engine, and we thought that it might be a good idea to try and see if Godot can be used to make a sprite editor. And when we started experimenting, we realized that it's very convenient and it's very powerful, and it was suitable for the job. It's very easy. It makes our lives very easy because it handles stuff like all the backend stuff, like rendering and all that stuff. It's already done, and its UI system is very powerful and easy to use.
Great. The next one, is there any plans to package Pixelorama for Debian?
Pixelorama has been packaged for Flatpak and as a snap, I think, but this has been done by contributors. We haven't done any packaging ourselves yet. Maybe in the future, but it's possible that contributors will most likely handle packaging.
Okay. Which are the future plans for Pixelorama?
We're currently working on remaking the selection system for 0.9 or the next version, and creating some more tools like shape tools. And in general, we'll try to listen to the feedback of the community. And you can actually find a detailed plan on our GitHub page, Pixelorama's GitHub page, on the projects tab.
Are you going to make an online game?
Well, it's an interesting idea, but we want to do it in the near future. But we will consider it for a future project because online gaming is something that we like, we enjoy doing, and it would be a very interesting thing to do. But maybe in the future, yeah, most likely, yeah, in the future, not soon.
Okay, let's wait if we have more questions in a moment. Okay, so it seems these were all the questions for the talk. So thanks a lot, Emanuele.
Thank you for having us.